This is the sound of your engine getting clean. Because BP and Amoco gasolines with Invigorate clean deep in your engine as you drive, helping your car run better to take you farther. Fuel a cleaner engine with BP and Amoco gasolines with Invigorate at a station near you. Optimizes your engine's performance from the harmful effects of deposits caused by minimum detergent fuels. Requires continuous use. Results depend on what you drive and how you drive. Comparison made for fuels with the same ethanol content.
You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. Welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your chunk.
I'm Doge, and Dominic Toretto. You might have won, Dante, but I have something you don't. Yeah? What's that? Dom stares down a keg of Corona. Chunkily.
I'm Carter, and you made one mistake. You never took my chunk. Wheelies and plummets his car off a hydro dam.
The stage direction in these quotes is killing me.
It's too good. We're all chunks today. Carter, do you want to tell us why that is? Yeah, shout out to Brooke and Ryan, who came and joined us. Ryan even shared some of the family beverage with us. It felt really cool.
Yeah.
It's true. Just to have some chunkies with us. Be on the lookout. We're definitely going to let you guys know more ahead of time. It just was one of these obvious things that was like, oh, why can't people just come see us and let's hang before the movie? And so we'll be doing that, I do believe, for Into the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
He's going to slap the guitar.
Once more into the Spider-Verse.
Once
He's
more
gonna slap the
into
guitar
the
to play it.
Spider-Verse. Very excited for that. Very excited for that.
Do you get it? Because
But yeah, Hunks.
that's that movie August Rush where he slaps the guitar, but that same kid is in Across the Universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Same guitar, though.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Cool podcast.
Nothing like
so far.
starting a podcast with not remembering things. We are discussing a movie today, as you know, and it's sort of a big one for the old pod because we're continuing the Fast saga today, talking about a movie known as Fast X.
Is it X or 10? Fast X or Fast 10? You'll never know.
I think it's, I don't know what it is. Because I was trying to use the rules of the other titles, and there are no rules.
There are no
Fast and the X.
The Fast and the X, dude. Because it's
Too
not
Fast,
for
Too X.
9 either. It's Fate of
F9.
the Furious, though. We used phonetics there.
Fate of the Furious, F9: the Fast Saga.
The worst.
Dude, what even is this?
The best title in all of Fast and Furious is Too Fast, Too Furious. It's the best title of any of them.
I think Fate of the Furious is extremely
That's the second best
cool.
for me. That's the second
That's
best for me.
extremely cool.
It just feels too good to say Too Fast, Too Furious.
In a vacuum, if you told me like, hey, there's a movie called The Fate of the Furious, I'd be like, that is the coolest. That's probably the coolest movie that's ever been made.
Yeah,
It's not, though.
it wasn't, but it was fine. It was better than Fast 9 for sure.
Which was not F9.
It was not F9. It was disappointing. Doge, will you give us a synopsis of this movie?
Boys, there's 2 synopsises on IMDb because this one is hot and fresh out the kitchen. One of them's heads, one of them's tails.
I'm always a tails guy.
You're a tails
I
guy?
don't want to get too personal.
I'm whichever
Tails.
one's short.
Tails. The synopsis is anonymous that you have
Thank
chosen.
goodness. There's a synopsis on here that's like an SAT essay.
Yeah, they had a word count for sure. The long one was written by thefastsaga.com.
Check it out on
Which
your
I
own time.
wonder. Hang on, I'm going to visit that URL
Yeah, let's
just
go there.
real quick. I want to
Let's
see,
go
is
there.
that a fan site or official?
It feels official.
I feel like Those are
Oh, it's official. It's official. Nah, I don't want to. I want to hear an unbiased synopsis from the people. This one's anonymous, and it says Dom Toretto and his family are targeted by the vengeful son of drug kingpin Hernan Reyes.
There it is.
That's
Simple
about
enough.
right.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. Are we spoiler free in the first half?
Not the
Just
first
quickly.
half. Let's give it like 10 minutes. There's no, I mean,
Okay.
how do you
There's
spoil
nothing. What do you
Fast
spoil?
and
I mean,
Furious?
it's,
How do you spoil
It's the
Fast
same
and
movie every time.
It is the same movie every time.
Here's what we'll do for the non-spoiler section here at the top. I went into this movie with sub-zero expectation. 8 was not great. 9 was,
This was
really
the lowest
bad.
expectations I had, to be honest.
Same. 9
Same.
was so unfun to me, and fun is what these movies traffic in, or what they should traffic in. And so 9 was so unfun and so serious and intense with no comedic relief. Everybody got their personality sucked out through a straw somehow. Maybe it's COVID. Maybe I don't know what it was, but it was brutal to watch.
It's
I
tough,
remember leaving
yeah.
the theater being
9
like,
was
"Well, it sucks that we got into this series when it sucks now." So imagine my surprise when Fast X was delightful,
Yeah.
a
Twas
return to
enjoyed
form, and an
Twas
absolute
enjoyed.
blast. Maybe, honestly, my second or third favorite of the whole series.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Maybe not that.
Gonna be
But
honest
that's
with you.
great. That's good for you.
Gonna be honest with you. It's 157 always part of the conversation. Probably 10 either right after that or somewhere in there.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably a top because we now have 10 of them, right? So
Yeah.
it might just make my top 5, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there is something, it's like, what was the title of the Twilight movie to where essentially it's the birthing scene. What was that one?
This is the
Breaking
very end
Dawn
of Breaking
Part
Dawn
One.
Part 1.
Yeah. So that ends up being one of my favorite moments because of how ridiculous it is. So
Yes.
I have to say that like Too Fast, Too Furious is both the worst installment and the best installment for it. So it's tough for
Sure,
me
yeah, that's valid.
with
Yeah.
the Fast franchise to like even know where
Look,
to put
Too
that.
Fast, Too Furious gave us Tyrese,
Yeah.
and I will be forever
did,
grateful for that.
Gave us Paul Walker's Cuh.
It did give us Paul Walker's cut.
No
Yeah.
big deal. We ventured into boating and never went back. That was like
Ugh.
the one boat that's ever been in Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Outside of a
That's true.
submarine.
Is a submarine a boat?
Mm.
I mean, is a rocket ship a plane? It's just different, right?
Ooh. Came
Hang
with
on
it.
now. I don't know the answer to this.
Came with it. I have no idea. I don't even know.
Well, I don't know. Were you guys shocked at how much fun this was? Were you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And here's the thing. It's also so silly. I love just seeing critic and audience reviews of anything. I'm just kind of fascinated at that kind of feedback. Man, the Fast franchise has to be one of the only ones that you give zero rips. It's literally the spirit
Yeah.
of the movies themselves.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. I will never let what critics or even audience say. Well, maybe audience. Maybe it's when it shifts over to audience about the Fast and Furious series. Because who cares? That's kind of the thing, right? I don't know. It feels like it's good practice to also say like what makes a Fast movie good. And Jordan, I think you said that a bit from the start, is it needs to be fun.
It does.
Like it needs to be fun and funny. And one of my
Yes.
favorite things about this, it wasn't my super pump, but I do want to go ahead and just say like John Cena stood out because we let him be
For
John
sure,
Cena.
man.
That was like one of the things that we
Yeah.
said when we came out of the theater. And it's just weird because the installment before he was completely different. It's like we took a controlling microchip out of his head and we missed that scene or forgot about
Yeah.
that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, he's back now. It's just so silly. I can't figure out Vin because he does
know.
seem to be. Does he executive produce these movies or no?
Has to.
He's heavily involved. And so there's this weird thing that he does to where he does take feedback, but it's like a hashtag demand of the fans and then does things. But then sometimes you're like, man, that didn't work before. And you took it up a notch and it still doesn't work.
I wouldn't
For
be
some reason,
surprised
it
if
felt like he got feedback and he
this
actually
point-
changed things up.
these movies are just based on 3 a.m. voice memos that Vin wakes up in the middle of the night and says stuff and then goes back to sleep and then just sends it to somebody in the morning. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if every movie in this installment is just based on a voice memo that Vin sends to some writer that he's got, where he's just like, maybe this time the guy from 5 had a kid.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So One Race Productions is Vin Diesel's production company. And they only do these and Triple X. And they're not doing Triple X lately. So it is like Vin Diesel's brain baby a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Just, so spoiler free, right? Just a warning if you haven't seen this. The first 10 minutes of this movie are just Fast 5. It's just footage of Fast 5.
Just a clip from Fast
with
5.
Jason Momoa put in.
Edited in. Yep.
Edited in well, I would say. But
it's an extremely strange digital de-aging to make him look 10 years younger because he doesn't look younger. He just looks like he's weirdly out of focus.
He's smooth. He's weirdly
That whole family is like, why do we ever touch them up? Don't touch up Momoa, Kravitz, any Kravitz.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, they don't age. I'm sorry.
They're fine. Yeah.
The elves are just always going to look like that.
That's true. They do feel like elves, right? Like higher beings.
They do.
But yeah, I was nervous. The first 10 minutes, I was like, oh boy. They ran out of ideas and they have just
Those were
done
the worst
5.
10 minutes.
Agreed. They were the
That's
worst
my
10
super
minutes.
dump.
Agreed.
Ooh.
I was not going to
Ooh.
say it, but that is my
What
super
a boo-boo beginning to the movie. We don't need to see
terrible
that.
beginning.
We don't need to see that. Much less, I was like, well, why are you setting this bar? Why are you reminding us of one of my favorite things about the franchise, which is the safe scene? It was just absolutely ridiculous. I remember that was one of those moments, and it would be fun to make some kind of fast timeline of just how I felt emotionally and what I expected. Because one of the things will be that, like, oh, they're superheroes now, and we've talked about that. But it was just like the kill count went really high, it felt like.
Yeah.
Once we pulled that safe through, it's Rio, yeah?
Through Rio.
It's just,
Let's actually talk
My
about this
super
for a
dump.
second. That's it's my super dump as well. It was just a weird decision to start the movie, and it did help my expectations lower. So I was pleasantly surprised for the rest of the movie. But just a warning, if you're going to go see this after listening to this part of the podcast, it gets better. The first 10 minutes are tough, but it gets much, much better. Can we talk? Well, can we talk about that timeline? Because it's so interesting that you bring that up. Fast 1. Exclusively a movie about street racers.
street racing. Yeah.
Who
Stealing
steal
DVD
things.
players.
Yeah. That's literally it.
It's a cop.
It's so low stakes.
It's essentially Departed. it's a cop undercover trying to catch.
Well,
somebody.
it's essentially Departed. It's literally Point Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too Fast, Too Furious. Same song,
Not
different dance.
Don't know what to do. Yeah.
We do it again.
Welcome,
This
Tyrese.
time there's Tyrese, and we're in Miami.
And not any Vin, right? Vin's barely in that
Vin's. I don't think Vin's in it
He's
at all.
a little bit in everything. Well, maybe not. We'll
I
have
don't
to
think
look
we
at
see
that.
him again until the post-credit scene of Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
So Too Fast, Too Furious, same deal. No opinion change. Tokyo Drift, we almost head into parody territory just based on how goofy everything is.
Yeah.
Fast 4 is this reboot that makes it feel, we've now gone from a racing movie, like an extreme sports movie, what is it? Just Fast and Furious? That's 4?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, we end up almost feeling like a spy movie.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it's
we
kind of Mission Impossible.
We stay Mission Impossible from then on out.
And I'll say
I don't
another.
think so.
I think
because I
another
think-
little bucket. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. It's more
I
better.
was just going to say another little bucket of the first 3 is like, still, this was the fuel to get us to even make 3 of these is cultural relevance at this point. Because we did have a big conversation too about how like souping up your cars and stuff and street racing becomes, especially in America, like a much bigger deal because of Fast and Furious. There is actually a huge influence. There's a point in Fast 10 to where they go to Rio and they hug Dom and they're like, you created this. And it's all these people that basically think Dom is a god and all they do is street race in Rio. But to a point, little bit.
For sure.
Like in actual culture. Like
100%.
That's why it's there. But yeah, on to 4 becomes kind of like
Mission Impossible. 5 is the same. 6 and 7, I think, is where we start to turn into a superhero movie where people are just, they have superpowers, super strength. They can take so much pain. And
it's once we drive a car out of a plane that it becomes a superhero
this is
movie.
when when we're going from skyscraper to skyscraper, when we have to fall out of a plane and then eventually we'll go to space. And this is when we had to be like, okay, there's going to be at least one thing that is going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for when I go to a fast movie. I want to have a great time with my family, and I want to see something I've never, ever seen before.
Yep.
And I think the ones that deliver on, I think honestly, all of them deliver on that. So anything extra is just gravy, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But the problem is 8 and 9, we stick to the superhero formula as we do with 10. It's just superhero movies now. It's superheroes with cars now. But 8 and 9, they forgot about the fun.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think
Can we get into spoiler territory?
Maybe we were in that stage.
Yeah, we have officially hit the mark, and it's time to start talking spoilies. So
it's named after my favorite part of a car.
The spoiler, and of course. So go ahead. If you don't want spoilers, get out of here. Go on, get. It's spoiler time,
Beagle
baby.
dudes.
Go. Start us off. What's your spoiler?
I'm on a super... I don't know what this is. I don't know if I like this or not. This movie is a movie about Fast and Furious, the franchise. And that is an extremely strange choice for me.
Yeah. I like it.
I think I do.
I'm not willing. It's strange.
Yep.
I'm not willing to say it's a pump or a dump right now. I'm not in or out on this, but I just want to comment on the fact that this movie starts with clips from Fast 5. We have that strange scene in the middle. In fact, this scene is my super dump. When Ames and Little Miss Nobody, what's Brie Larson's name?
That's just what they called her, right?
Just
Little Miss Nobody.
Little Miss Nobody. I don't know.
She had a name.
Tess. Yes. When Ames and Tess are in that weird, formless void surrounded by computer screens, and he is recapping the events of the last 9 movies.
That part.
I did.
That's
too,
my
dude.
super dump because
I loved that part.
That was extremely strange for me. That took me out of the movie a little bit. Where it's like, wait, no, I could have watched this recap on YouTube before I came if I wanted to see this.
Oh, dude, I loved that.
You're taking time away from stunts, but the whole movie is like a commentary on Fast and Furious as a franchise.
Yeah, agreed. I like it.
It's so weird. It's
if
really
any
strange.
series needed to acknowledge that they finally understand what they in fact are, especially after 8 and 9, which felt like they forgot what they were.
Yeah.
It was this one. This series,
Also,
I'm not saying it needs to be meta all the time, but they just need to. I like that they understand what they are because that means they know what they should be delivering.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is it totally. I don't know if it works here, but I acknowledge that if in Avengers 7, Nick Fury is back from the dead, if he dies before, whatever has to happen, that we get the a recap of the Avengers movies, and he's like, it started with one man who had an idea to bring together powerful people who could solve the problems too big for. I would get hyped about that.
Yeah, sure.
I would get excited about that. So I recognize that that's a double standard, but this is it's just such a strange way to do this.
This movie is at its core just a string of events that happen, and so going to a string in the middle of a string of events that happen, going to a recap in the middle of the movie rather than starting with that. So the fact that we started with 10 minutes of Fast 5 instead of starting with Ames being like, all right, here's our target and here's who we're going after. You know what I mean? It just, it felt out of place, but it still worked for me. And I think it's because it felt like, okay, obviously we got to go to shout announcements soon, but not right now. There is something beautiful about the fact that there's 3 different movies happening in this movie. And let me break it down for you. We have Vin Diesel in his own movie. He barely interacts with anyone in the cast for this entire film.
Yeah.
separated from them immediately at the beginning, and then never geographically in the same place as any main cast again until he's in. Yes, until he is in the car next to his brother, and then with his son at the very end.
Baby B. Yep.
He is never with the main cast geographically once in this whole movie.
Nope.
So he's off doing his own thing.
Well, at dinner at the beginning, but
Oh, I'm
At the
sorry.
picnic.
Yes, at the very
Yeah.
beginning. He's off doing his own thing for like this entire movie. That's movie number one. Movie number two is this like The Last of Us, John Cena protects Baby B.
The lone wolf and cub kind of thing.
That is
Yeah.
the second best
Amazing.
movie in this movie.
Oh,
Because
that one's the best. No, that's the best one.
wrong,
That's my super pump.
incorrect.
My super pump is John Cena and Little B.
Good.
it's
worthy.
so good. It's
I
so
love
good.
it. That was the most John Cena personality we got. I think it's great.
Yeah, I love him.
Rose as fuel. They're like, no, it's not going to work.
Yes,
that was
that
great,
was
but-
so great.
The
Yeah, that was
stupid canoe that turns into
I know.
a plane.
I
was
know.
Unbelievable.
That's the best part of the
amazing.
movie.
It was so awesome.
great.
I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but the best of the three movies is the Fast and Furious movie that finally happens about how bad Dante is and everybody trying to stop him.
The amount of one-liner. So here's the thing. We talked about, and y'all need to see John Wick Chapter 4 again. But it was riddled with all of these trying to just be menacing or looming or like these big like one-liners that are
Yeah.
supposed to teach you something and you never. Fast 10 felt like that, but much worse. Because we just kept doing like Cypher comes in, bloodied hand on the
enemy of my
on
enemy
the address of the home. Yeah,
is you.
I met the devil. Yeah, it's just like kind of disappointed it wasn't me. It's just like so
ridiculous.
full.
Every single
of this
line,
stuff.
every single line in the script was trying so hard to be the line they used in the trailer for the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not trying to get everything out of the way because there's plenty to discuss about this movie, but my
Yeah.
super pump is Jason Momoa as Dante.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, what? Like, again, this is not
Dante.
this.
Ashante.
This is not a criticism at all. A genuine question. What on earth is he doing?
Yeah, speaking of in a different movie from everybody else,
Yeah.
literally.
What is happening?
This dude is on another planet for this entire
Yeah.
movie. He's
The
not
worst
from
of
this
him was-
franchise.
I was not
No.
impressed at the beginning. Once we
Same.
got out of Rome, Dante
Yep.
was great.
Yep.
In Rome, it was very strange.
Yep.
I didn't really like anytime there's like a remote control thing. I think I'm out on that. That wasn't very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a time that you have where it's just like, hey, close your eyes and just like let Fast and Furious just flow over you.
Mhm.
You kind of start to pick apart naturally the things that are cool. Like
Yeah.
you can tell, and you have these moments after you're like, yeah, I didn't like that either. But yeah, the remote control of anything and his ballet stuff didn't always work. But I think
You
he
mean when-
figured it out. It looked like we found somebody figure it out on set.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they didn't go back and change it.
So they lost their director partway through production. Justin Lin like left partway through production. And so like Letty and Cypher's fight scene, there was not a director on set that day. Like they were just like, we're going for it. So I wonder if we're seeing things, if we're seeing a film, like the reason there's two Dantes in this is because he was directed in two very different ways.
Well, whoever made the decision to make him weird, that's the director that we needed. Because
That's Louis Leterrier, I bet.
there is a scene in this movie where Dante is painting the nails of a corpse that he has taped the eyeballs open. And instead of being sadistic and creepy, it just makes him seem quirky somehow. He's got
Yeah.
pigtails. He's in a bright pink robe. He has made mojitos for these corpses. And he tells them to finish up their mojitos because somebody will be by to bury them soon. I'm going to go wash my hair. And it is
What? What on earth?
that was the moment in this movie that I was like, yeah, this rules. This is
This
so
movie-
ridiculous.
So that is the moment that I realized, and like I'm not trying to be topical with the WGA strike. this movie could have been written by AI, and I wouldn't be able to tell.
That's so funny.
Because it's stuff like that where it's just like, that makes sense. Like I can follow, there is a logic to that, but if it's harder for me, it's hard for me to believe a human brain thought of that because that is so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that there's a logic to it. I just think
I mean like grammatically, like syntax, it makes sense.
It's readable.
It's total word salad, but it at least is an idea that can be communicated.
Yeah. But man, I don't know. Yeah, Jason Momoa is easy super pump for me because he was just simply wild for this whole movie.
It's like you start to figure out the things that don't work. And one of the things that does work is like you can't have all of this. Like it can't all be Dante.
Yeah.
There has to be someone who has no personality. Vin has that locked in from the beginning. He holds it in spades.
That's his spot.
And there's got to be someone who's got a little bit more personality, but they fight well. We've got a couple of those, and it's like, then there's the drivers. It's so funny that there seems to be some hierarchy of how good of a driver everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
But also
Vin's the best, obviously. Vin's the best at everything. Vin's the best driver. He loves the hardest. He's the strongest.
Han is way up there, though. Han is one of the best drivers.
Probably the second best driver.
But Han doesn't have leadership.
Han has no leadership. And Roman
the rest
is
of the
working on it.
The rest of the Fast family has like one attribute. And when you combine all of them, you get Don, who is Vin. Yeah. Don.
You just call him Don.
What?
Don Durango.
Don Don Durango sells cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that, I don't know, the silliness of this movie, that's what we've been missing.
Yeah.
Like Tyrese was fun again.
Yeah.
You could always count on Roman to be fun except for 8 and 9. Now he's fun again.
It feels like with this one, like Vin allowing Dante to be in this movie, feels like Vin finally is in on not even the joke, because I unironically enjoy these. It's not a joke that I like
so
these.
Serious.
I think Vin like is finally in on like, this is what these are. You know what I mean?
So based on his minimal presence in this movie, I kind of wonder if he's out on what these should be and someone has forced the hand a little bit.
I don't know. If you look at Instagram, he's saying this is the best thing he's ever done.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah.
I trust him there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He wouldn't lie to us about that.
Vin wouldn't lie. Vin's a lot of things, but he's not a liar.
Do that.
He would never lie to us.
It's Vin. He's not going to lie. It is time for shout announcements. There's plenty to discuss, even more spoilers, I promise you, in this back part. So stick with us as we head to shout announcements. Welcome to Shout Announcements, the part of the show where we give shout outs and make announcements. Shout out to those who joined us last night for Fast 10, whatever you want to call it. It was awesome. Awesome, fun. In fact, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it for Across the Spider-Verse. And where we're going to be talking about time and theater and all that stuff is over in Discord. So if you want to see this movie with some like-minded movie individuals, some fun friendos, then jump into Discord and we'll let you know when we're seeing it. We'll even show you a picture, a screenshot of our seats so that you can sit around us and we can all just vibe.
Yeah. Sit near us. Don't sit next to me because I'm trying to get in the zone. I require a buffer seat on either side of myself to fully immerse myself in the world of cinema.
See, this is great. This is great, I think, because I think a lot of people in our Discord probably think that Doja's more outgoing and friendlier than me.
Friendly?
So
not, dude. Not
I think meeting us in person should finally win me some brownie points in the eyes of our Discordians. That'd be beautiful. No, it's so much fun. Come out and enjoy Across the Spider-Verse with us.
Come do it. And for those in the Patreon sphere and the Patreon universe, we do have the Dungeons and Dragons episode releasing. Can't get enough of Michelle Rodriguez as Letty, as Barbarian, as herself.
Gotta get more.
So, listen in.
Now does you talk?
Well, the thing I think that you all should do is subscribe to our podcast so that when our Spider-Verse episode comes out in 2 weeks, you can listen to it. Even if you're not there in person, we still want you to hear it.
Yeah. Welcome, Jen.
But not as much.
Out to Discord, too.
Yeah, welcome, Jen.
Yeah,
Welcome, Jen, to Discord.
New Discordian. I'm glad you're here.
Discordian of the galaxy.
Nice. Back to the show. We're back. Shall we talk resurrections and returns?
Super pump.
Okay.
Whoa. Super pump.
Unsurprised,
Because
actually. Unsurprised, actually.
As I'm watching this series, one of the best things about it is how ridiculous the roles are.
Sure.
Role reversals, life reversals. It's so silly. It's so in your face.
It is.
Trying to take itself seriously, but everyone else knows it's silly. I love it. There's no other feeling like this.
Did it not
if it
feel
happens
weird
in the
to you,
Marvel
though?
universe?
When Ames called that out specifically, when he was like, if you drive against him today, you're at their barbecue tomorrow. Did that
I
not
love
feel
that.
weird?
No,
that
that
was
was
so
amazing.
weird
I
to
liked
me that
that
he
part.
called it
No,
out.
I loved it. I loved it. It was completely different, right? From anything we've ever seen. There's never been in-show commentary about the Fast series because it took itself too seriously.
Yep.
But when and I'm just going to do it in phases here because my heart rate was at its highest. It made no sense. The last time we saw Cypher and Letty beat the hell out of Cypher because she had 4 minutes to do so.
Yep.
We never saw them escape this prison that was somewhere.
No, you were in the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, They climbed out. They climbed out a hole at the top of the prison, and then we got an Antarctica title card. They escaped the prison together.
Oh, so we got a title. I missed a title card.
Yep.
Doja and I were counting them. There were 10, which felt like something like Jotunheim security. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
But we get out, and I can't even tell you. So the dam is about to bust. And water will flow and possibly kill Dom and Baby B.
Yeah.
What a stupid name.
I think it's Little B, but yeah, still.
His name is Brian.
Brian Little B, Little Baby B. Okay, I'm glad it's not Baby B, it's Little B.
Baby B's better.
Little B. Baby B. But then we just cut to Antarctica. It's like, Cypher's like, see, told you how to plan. Over to Letty. And out from the ground, up from the ice comes a nuclear sub. And behold, Gal Gadot.
Why? I mean, I'm fine with it.
Is alive.
I'm fine with it.
I think I said I've never seen someone more dead.
Yeah.
Because we saw her
died.
Very dead.
But she's back, and I love that.
I don't want
It's so
anybody,
stupid.
including movie studios, to take the wrong lesson from this because I like Fast and Furious in a completely different way than I like anything else.
Yes.
Fast and Furious could do anything. And as long as it's ridiculous, I'm fine. If they start doing this stuff in real movies, that's stupid. Tony can never come back. If Tony Stark comes back, it's a waste.
No,
but
can't do that.
Gal Gadot returning from splatter death.
What?
Fine.
With her coming back in the sub from the other movie, the same nuclear sub, I have to assume. And
It's
then
not.
also,
I read that it's not, but it doesn't matter.
Weird.
Because
Oh,
it's silly. How are we supposed to know it's not?
was
Are you
that sub
kidding? How are we
busy that
supposed to know?
day? I got a look
It's
alike.
another
It was
sub.
booked already.
But like, it really feels like between that and between something Carter, I am sure, is about to talk about, and dragging a bomb through the streets of a city, it really feels like somebody, like their mom brought down a box of toys from the attic, and they're like, "Oh, I forgot I had these toys. I'm going to
100%.
play with them again."
100%.
Yep.
Can we, before we
It's
get to the one
amazing.
that Carter's going to go off on, I do just want to say Shaw's back in earnest. I mean, he's actually in this
Shaw's
movie.
for real back. Shaw's for real back.
Shaw's actually back, and that was awesome.
He has
Did
a
the
custom
punching bag
license
scene.
plate that says Road Rage.
He does.
It's so good. Shaw's back. Statham's great. Statham
Statham's
needs to be.
great.
It's like
Statham.
there's certain people that when
Statham's
it's just
great.
like when they're trying it on and they come out of the fitting room and you're like, that's it, man. It's got to have some Statham. You got to have that. And man, I don't know. I had been between the real life of like, I'm not out on this person. It feels like my co-hosts are getting out, and I totally get it. This person is one of the most popular people in the world.
I'm out
and
on the
also
persona.
just-
That's what I want to say. I'm out on the persona.
is
It's
too
exhausting.
much. This
The
might
brand.
help it a little bit. Here's what happened.
Yup.
The sheriff. So there's something happening where there's some kind of SWAT thing that we don't get in an old theater. We don't get a title card. Was kind of upset about that. I wanted to know where we were. And there's a face covered. It's got a really kind of
Just a
fleshy,
thick,
veiny,
just a
thick
thick
arm.
forearm.
And I'm kind of like, man, I don't know. Is this how they get away with it? Kind of, because we saw photos of this character earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I wonder how they feel about it because there's been some beef recently. So Dante gets on. He's made his fun little thing of just showing like, Dom wasn't the only one there. You helped him. I'm coming for everything you want. Sheriff.
You pulled the
Kinda like
trigger.
usual thing. And I'm like, sure, this cannot be. And man, and I was kind of starting to stand and breathe like him because I've seen him breathe with something covering up his face before. I know how that feels. And it pulls it off, and it's Hobbs. It's Hobbs, and he's got a beautiful gray goatee, and he says, and we can't. I'll take the explicit tag
Say
for
it.
this, but he's holding this bedazzled phone that I'm sure. That Dante made himself. And he says, I don't even know anything else of what he said besides saying, the most inflected some bitch. And crushes this phone.
So
crushes
much
the phone in his hand.
space. He says, I'm going to get you some bitch.
And it was, and it's him. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Hobbs, and he's back.
man.
And I'm feeling
Powerful.
the feelings I had again. And we're in the theater, and I genuinely stood up and like Gladiator beckoned the crowd.
Yeah, you're doing some crowd work there.
I was doing some crowd, and I was so excited. I can't believe. Was it a cover? Because there was an Instagram post that was talking about like, we might have squashed the beef or whatever. And it's all of a sudden it's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel again. And it's like, well, cool. Maybe he's thinking about it, but he's back. Like
He's
Hobbs
back.
is going to be
He's back.
So now we get to have Hobbs and Shaw interactions back in the Fast universe.
Yup.
Hobbs was the surrogate for all of the most ridiculous things.
Yep.
I still think Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs changed the Fast and Furious franchise.
100%.
Yes.
Daddy's got to go to work.
And maybe
Yep.
behind closed doors, that's the conversation that was had here. Maybe when we say hashtag bring back Han or whatever that was years ago, when we brought Han back, now it's officially the majority of the people in this franchise are back from the dead, many of them multiple times. We've actually seen them die and come back. But I don't know how much time I've even taken on this. But
Doesn't
my
matter.
super pump is that Hobbs is back. I cannot believe that he's back. I could not be more jazzed.
Every action figure they've ever had is back, dumped out of the box on the floor again, except Elena. Do you think Elena's going to stay dead?
yeah.
I don't know. We've referenced her a lot, right?
We have
I know.
referenced
She
her a
has
lot.
to for the sake of, she has to though, right? Because she's narratively a big deal in
Dude,
being dead.
Dude, so was Han. So is Gal Gadot.
Not as big of a deal, but
that's
yeah, I
true.
agree.
That's true.
John
How
Cena.
much fun.
Jacob Toretto's not dead.
Dude,
Guaranteed
that means
not dead.
guarantee you Hobbs and Dante are going to fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
What? Everything said and done in those scenes. Yes. I need fisticuffs.
yes, I do need
need-
fisticuffs.
I need the detachment of machinery from other parts of machinery that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense because of our. Oh, it's just so good. And it had me, I was missing him when things would happen like Don ripping off a car door to protect.
Did you just call him Don too?
He did.
Did I say Dom?
You said
I
Don.
I meant to say Dom. I'm sorry. Oh, it's Dante. Maybe that's what's getting.
Dante,
Dante and
Vin,
Dom.
Dom.
Vin Dom picks up a car door and protects someone from bullets.
Like a
Dude,
shield.
I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna
lifts
huck it like
a
Captain
car?
America.
I did too. Yeah,
Dom
one-handed.
lifts a car.
One-handed picks up a car.
Because he's got to hold the other one. And here's the thing. It's not my super dump anymore. I don't know if I ever super dumped it. I'll never not be irritated that we are our entire lives rely on driving. And we choose to drive with one hand so that we can hold an ancient walkie-talkie.
Where
But
did
we
those come
also
from,
have-
by the way?
We also
They're just there.
have the technology to just the world, the culture outside of Fast and Furious has had the technology to talk to each other hands-free.
No, they're
for
doing walkie-talkies.
decades.
They're doing walkie-talkies because it's a private channel, so Dante can't listen in on them. I'm telling you, if you think about these movies for a second, they're perfect. They all make sense. No, they really don't, is the thing. These are such, like, every single event, these movies are complete non sequiturs. Like, it really is just a basket full of scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's edited so strangely. The whole thing feels like a really long music video. Like, it is not a good movie. Like,
I feel like
well made, not thoughtfully crafted. It is straight up a bad movie.
Of course.
But it's an absolute
feel like
blast.
you're walking into this, not a hole in the wall, but it kind of feels like it, but it's a fast food type restaurant. One of those that's got the menu without pictures, but it's got like maybe 20 items that you've got up there that you can choose from. And maybe like 13 to 14 of these look great, but you can't decide. And they're like, oh, that's fine. Here's a D20. Like, that's what Fast 10 feels like.
Yeah.
You get to just roll it and you just eat what you eat. However it lands, it doesn't matter.
That's what's happening in this one.
There's something about like the anticipation of having no idea. It's all chance to me, right?
Yeah.
It does feel like just a roll the dice. I have no idea what's going to happen. And that's what makes it fun. Man, Fast 9 sucked.
Yeah. Fast.
What
yeah,
were
it did
they
suck.
doing? I can't even believe we got to that point. But yeah, just having those, to circle back around, this was one of those like infinity stones of the Fast series for me, is just bringing people back from the dead.
Yeah, of course.
And boy, did they do it. And not only did they do it once, they did it twice, which is also such a Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah.
Our not nuclear, but our rolling bomb,
It wasn't. It was a
Which for some
was
reason-
a neutron bomb. Is that what they called it?
something
I don't
like
know.
that.
Basically an atom bomb.
The explosion was super cool, by the way.
Yeah.
But Rome it's when Rome falls, the world falls. What the?
That was
What?
Dude, those designs are.
It's just. Oh, we haven't
It
even
is-
talked about the fact that Pete Davidson is in this movie. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
Pete Davidson is in this movie. And it was funny.
it was funny.
That
Yeah.
whole scene was funny. Well, we didn't have Spanx, but he wore Banks because it was filled
That was
Yes,
fantastic.
that was
$100
very good.
bills.
That was
Very good.
fantastic.
Tyrese, dude. We know they're not dead. So we see the plane
No,
crash.
no
I think we're
chance.
getting into Farleying for the rest of this episode, but it's
Let's
like,
do it, baby.
the plane crash, they're not dead because we did
Of
it behind
course
a
not.
mountain.
Of course not.
Anybody who's watched a movie, much less a Fast and Furious movie, knows, well, we have no idea.
We saw Gal Gadot become a corpse and she's back. Anybody that doesn't
cars
die on
leave
screen.
planes all the time.
I was about to say, like,
Fine.
that's the one trick that it's like, we've got to repeat that in every movie. Is like
Yeah.
the second you see a car drive out of a plane in this movie, that in these movies, that's happening in every movie from now on.
Yep.
This time
You
we
can't
got
do
that
enough
and a
for me.
canoe.
And a canoe fly out of a plane.
Can't do that enough for me. We did it multiple times in this movie. Also can't do enough of something's under cloth. Some
The
vehicle is
cannon
under
car.
a cloth. and I
Yeah,
can't
you
really see
gotta-
it. That's fine. Because Cannon Car is gross
Cannon
and
car
awesome
is super
and
cool and stupid.
thrown
Speaking of
together
not dead, there's
Ghostbustery
no
Mad
way
Max.
Jacob's dead. There's
no
no
way.
chance Jacob's
way.
dead.
Jacob's not dead.
In
I don't
fact,
know,
it
dude.
wouldn't
The way
surprise me
they-
if he
the way
comes
they
back.
sent him off was pretty dead.
Agreed.
But-
He's not, though.
You're right.
May I introduce you to Gal Gadot?
Yeah, for real.
That's true.
He's going to
That's
come back
true.
with like a
You know
bionic
that in-
arm, like the guy from
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, like Idris from Hobbs and Shaw.
Adam was sitting next to me, and when we were in Rome at one point, and Dom
You did as the
continuously
Romans
kicked his
do.
ball around. Did as the Romans do. It's very clearly Rocket League, right?
Dude, I
Like,
had the
that's-
same thought.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
Okay. It has. They didn't accidentally cut. Like that had to be on the
Someone
board.
brought it up.
If there's one person on the planet who could accidentally invent Rocket League for a second time, it's Vin Diesel.
That's true.
That's an excellent point.
That's true. Yeah. Man. It's just so ridiculous.
I don't have anything to say about this movie, not because I'm out of thoughts about this movie, but because there's no way to organize and qualify them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you. It's time to rate it anyway.
Let's do it then.
Can you believe that? How time flies when you're talking about a good Fast and Furious movie.
The actual shocking thing is what I'm about to rate it, but let's go ahead and say the same.
Oh, we're going to rate this movie using the scientific cinema scale, which is, as we all know, perfect, and as follows. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing is rent it. That's followed by stream it. And after that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. I'm buying Fast 10. I can't believe I'm buying Fast 10. But I'm buying Fast 10. Callie and I talked on the way home last night about how she didn't go see Fast 9 with us. And she realized during the movie that she never saw it. And it's because I had no interest in ever watching it again and kind of forgot about it. And I can confidently say I will watch Fast 10 again. In a Jordan-led watch-through of the Fast series, it goes 1 through 7, 8 if I'm feeling saucy, no 9, go to 10.
I'm going to buy this movie. It's an extremely high buy, and it is, unfortunately, almost a poster. Yes. This is the most fun I've had with a Fast and Furious movie since
7, dude. I'm telling you.
7, I think. Like, they're back. I'm officially more excited for Fast and Furious. I have more faith, more confidence in Fast and Furious than I do in any other franchise right now, because I feel like Fast and Furious is the only like big blockbuster franchise that officially knows exactly what it is and what people want from it. And so I'm happy to invest my money and my time in Fast and Furious.
Sign me completely up.
Sign me completely up. I'm a buy as well. And
unreal.
I can't remember the last time that this franchise had me excited about the future of the franchise. Yep. In my mind, you do these silly things and I love it. There's something about like Fast and Furious is the substitute teacher that's complete chaos. That you come out of it and you're like, I don't know if I learned something.
What is
that?
But
then you realize years later, it's like, you know what? I'm just happier because of this person. I don't know what it is, but I literally was just doing, here's what this movie did to me. I just added the weights because I wanted to see them thrown around in the next movie. I added the weights of Vin Diesel, Jason Momoa, Alan Ritchson, and Dwayne Johnson, just so I could look at it and be like, man, that's 934 pounds right now hitting each other. Man, I can't wait. Like they have set themselves up. There's a weird, like I trust that Fast and Furious will kind of tie all these loose ends in some way.
Yeah.
Like they opened up so many new things that could possibly happen with new introductions of characters because all we keep doing is adding. We never really subtract. But I feel like they're going to find a way to get them all their screen time, and that really excites me. If Fast 10 I comes along and we see that it's a 3-hour, 10-minute movie, are you discouraged?
Nope.
No.
See? Isn't that an interesting barometer?
Yep. Because I would have been discouraged if this one was, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
I mean, not while I was watching it.
Right, but ahead of time.
Yeah.
I would have been discouraged.
I'm back in.
I'm in.
Didn't
I'm
think
in
it would
100%,
happen.
man.
I bet in the next movie, we get a Dante v. Hobbs skydive fight, struggling to pull a parachute, just punching as they fall through the stratosphere.
That way neither of them can lose contractually. Yep.
And one of them's going to call the other one big boy, and the other one's going to get offended and be like, big boy, and then tackle him out of a plane.
Yeah. Do you think Vin can do incredulous, or would that have to be Dwayne?
He won't be there. No. It's going to be Hobbs and Dante.
Oh, okay.
I think Vin is off in his own separate movie again next time.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if Vin and Dwayne did not interact.
I bet they don't.
Hobbs and Shaw will fight together.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So then do we bring in their villain? Is Ryan Reynolds going to be in the next?
Are we like closing the book forever on this and bringing in Ryan Reynolds?
I'd like that.
I don't know. Kevin Hart could absolutely show up.
Yeah.
Almost, some could say will.
Unbelievable, man.
Fine. Yeah. Like I said, every action figure we've ever had, let's get them back out and play with them one last time.
Take them out of the chest. Let's do it.
Before we give our toys to Bonnie and go to college.
Fully agreed. Well, what an episode. What a movie. What a film. This is a film.
Yeah, I'm a real kino for Fast and Furious.
And the Oscar goes to. Wow. Can't believe it. If you're on Patreon, then you know that we're a little behind on the bonus eps. But good news.
About to not be,
banger's coming for you. Banger's coming for you. So get ready for the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves bonus episode coming your way. Next episode, that will drop in your feed is in 2 weeks, and it's for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Again, if you want to watch that with
that'll
us,
be good.
Yeah, I'm assuming it will. But if you want to watch that with us, make sure you jump into Discord so you can check out theater and time and come hang out with us.
Yeah,
at
it'll
an
be fun.
Alamo Draft House near you. It'll be
That'll be
great.
super fun.
I end it.
I'm so excited to see a movie with y'all that I know you'll love. That brings me so much joy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't
My
wait.
Spider Boys, bro.
We got a few
so
of them this
excited
summer
for
that I think we can go into pretty filled with
Yeah.
anticipation. To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and what vehicle stunt would you like to see in Fast
hoping
X
you'd
Part
ask.
2? For Two Chunks and Hunk, I'm Jordan Wonders. We already have airplane, kayak, so why not rocket, bicycle? I would like to see Dave Mira join the squad and in a fully enclosed pedal bike
Yeah.
launch into space
Cool. Yeah, fine.
to take out a satellite that Dante has controlled to do something.
Seems likely to happen.
I think so too.
They're bringing back relics that we don't care. Dude, God's eye, I still don't care about that thing.
I can't
But it's
believe
here.
they're still talking about it. / I can't believe somebody in production remembered what it was called.
Remembered that they had that in this franchise.
I know.
I'm Doge, and the craziest thing about Fast XI is that we're finally going to see a car do a loop-de-loop. And I don't know how, because there's
Yeah.
not going to be like a big track or anything, but it's going to be like some building, some rubble is crumbling, and a car's we're going to finally see it do a loop. We haven't seen that yet. That feels like
Have we not?
stunts. It feels like stunts 101. Like doing a loop is like one of the first things I tried to make my Hot Wheels do as a kid. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's do it in the next one.
I'm Carter, and it's just all Hobbs stuff for me. So here's
Yeah,
what's going to
naturally.
happen. Which, by the way, this means his Roman Reigns could come back into the series too. His brother
That's
is
true.
still alive.
Oh,
That's true.
Yeah,
And
dude.
they don't use handguns all the time. They don't use guns all the time. Anyways, that's not this case though. It's one of those classic things that happens multiple times in a movie to where it was almost like a mousetrap type thing this time when Dom hit a crane that booted
Oh my
a
gosh.
bomb
That was
into
cool.
a river.
That was
It was phenomenal.
unfortunately
It was phenomenal.
extremely cool.
Hobbs, though, can do this kind of stuff with his bare hands. And so what's going to happen is there'll be a motorcycle heading towards him. One of the last ones left in terms of the goons because there's been many of them die. By the way, maybe 50 cars were chasing John Cena and Baby B
Yeah.
at one point. But
That's true.
we've got a motorcycle that for some reason is going to choose to ramp into and try and kill Hobbs, which
Big
is silly.
mistake.
And there's a bad helicopter boy coming the other way. I'm thinking Hobbs gets down in that lineman stance, that haka. He does a haka heave and throws that mother effer, throws the motorcycle up into the helicopter,
Yeah.
and it blows up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And it just falls around him, and he says something that's just brilliant.
It's perfect.
And, yeah.
Wowzers.
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 Would you stand up? I would
This
stand
movie
up.
can't come fast.
I think I would
stand up.
dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to start doing squats so I can stand up faster during Fast X Part
So I
2.
can jump even higher.
Yeah.
Well, at Alamo, because I'm always reclining, it would be like, yeah.
I'm going to stick into the ceiling like a pencil when you throw pencils at ceiling tiles. I'm just going to right into the ceiling. I'm going to get so hyped. It's going to be amazing.
Very good.
Well, we're back in.
Back in.
Just when I
Dude, Dom's
think
going
I'm
to die, by the way. When
No.
this series is done, No. He's doing so many goodbyes to people.
Agreed.
He's going to go.
No.
He's
And
gonna sacrifice
Vin Diesel
himself.
is so full of himself. Yes, that he's going to be the martyr.
1000%.
He's done it once before, and now he's addicted. He's
Honestly,
died 2 or 3 times.
That might be foreshadowing. How many times Dante keeps calling him a saint, and then is like, in order to become a saint, you have to perform a miracle or die a martyr. Dom's gonna do both.
I think he's going to do
actually,
both.
I'm fully in on this now. Dom's gonna die Saint Toretto.
It's going to be a real Hanukkah situation. He's going to drive a car with no gas in it, and then he's going to explode himself to save the world.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.